All right, we should be starting our global macro update here with a little bit of crypto market in there, but for the most part, we're just going to be looking to see if our supports are holding. We've been talking about how this pullback could be a really good opportunity to buy the lower high if it does hold the support, right? So this SPX or this S&P 500 is going to be the first chart that we look at. Now, if we jump back to the daily, it does look like we are nicely holding the previous high right here, but if we jump on the smaller time frame at the daily, we do see an entire trading day below this $3,400 zone. But all in all, I'm still looking at this as a held area on the weekly chart. Daily, yes, it did trade below the zone, but obviously it's going to be in a zone on an exact price point, so I'm still viewing this as injections of buy pressure keeping the price above a key level of support. So I definitely still think that the bulls still have a strong chance of holding it and then pushing the price to form a higher high, continuing its momentum to the upside. Now, a little bit of information on the volatility index. We do see a rejection making a lower high, which is great to see. And this is what we're looking for right here, is a failure to breach this previous high. So we're going to make lower highs and we're going to get another fade, potentially even a lower low from this low, which will look something along the lines of this. And this would be a great risk on an environment move for the VIX, where the S&P would be moving to the upside if those two have that kind of price action, in my personal opinion. Quick look at the NASDAQ. Did break below our minor level of support at around 10 or 11.5 on the weekly chart. We do see this still holding the previous resistance right around here. Candle closure, wick closure. Now it's holding as a nice level of support. So not absolutely perfect, but we do see the NASDAQ still hold and gain some buy pressure, although the 11.5, 11.4K zone would have been a better place to look for a possible bounce, in my personal opinion. But the S&P is going to be a really important one to be looking at, and overall looking at multi-asset analysis, in my opinion, really gives a good representation of the overall market. Now, quickly talking about silver. Gold and silver have not really done a whole lot, but I still view them as a really solid potential opportunity. We do see that silver in particular does look like it's still consolidating, not really doing a whole lot, but like I said before, we're looking for that 27, let's say 20-ish zone to break to the upside for potential longs, and then if we do break below $26, we may have to kind of restructure the entire trade, because right now we've got a strong impulse push. This is a pullback, a consolidation, a contraction in volatility before we have the impulse move expand the volatility and create that next leg up for silver. So we still expect it to occur. We don't really see the massive impulse push that should be occurring, where we see a nice bullish engulfing candle, but that is still expected to occur. A little bit of discussion on the US dollar. So we did break above this previous high right here, which isn't awesome, but we have still failed to break above this previous high at around 93.80, 94, and I would like to see that continue. So ideally, if we're continuing the risk on sentiment, we'd want to see the US dollar start to move to the downside, making a lower low, because then that would mean the risk on assets would be doing favorably. The US dollar is a risk off asset, indicating if there's fear, uncertainty in the markets, people will flee and inject capital into the US dollar. So the fact that it is dropping and has been dropping for a while does indicate that we're in a severe risk on environment. If we do break 94 to the upside, that could indicate a pretty aggressive move down for equities, crypto, even gold and silver. So we will have to keep that in mind and understand the correlations and cause-effect relationships within the market. All right, so now we're going to quickly look at BTC. Now that we understand what's happening in the equities market, a little bit of the metals market, particularly in silver, and then we just touched on gold. Quickly looking at crypto, mainly just BTC and Ethereum. We still think that this low is going to be a higher low, and we're going to be able to hold and actually move to the upside. We do see a little bit of a descending zone right there, creating a slight descending triangle formation. It's not really precise. We only see one validation and then a second validation. This isn't really touching, and then we do see a potential third, but we will want to ensure that we do have 3 validations of a descending zone before we actually use a trend line to connect the lower highs. So I will draw it today, like so, but I will want to see this current area be validated one more time. And then what we could be seeing is if we make this green, like so, we could be seeing a descending triangle formation breaking to the upside. We get something like this, break, break, and then we get a reversal sort of like that. We saw this in different places. In particular, we saw something very similar to gold when it absolutely sold off in March and February. When everything was selling off, we saw a similar reversal pattern. So we will be looking out for that. In short, we're looking for a contraction, a break, and retest of a previous level of significance, previous resistance, new level of support, and confluence with the descending zone is acting as a new level of support as well. And that's what we're going to be looking for on Bitcoin. So overall, it does look like the more risk-on assets are holding. By that, I mean S&P, NASDAQ, even silver is looking pretty well. So I do value those price action structures. And then also looking at quickly Ethereum, we do see this higher low is able to hold, creating a higher low structure. Low, higher, low, higher. This is a nice ascending triangle formation with the breakout being at around 360. We do see this 306, 308 zone acting as a nice strong level of support. And this right here looks very, very, very similar to the gold sell-off, where we had the big sell-off on gold back in the spring of 2020. And then we had a nice descending triangle. This is an ascending triangle, but a price action structure to then bring us back to a bullish momentum. And that's, I think, what we're going to be seeing with Ethereum as well as BTC. So what we're going to be looking for is a break and retest of a significant zone, in particular the 360 zone. So a break, retest, and then a continuational move to the upside. We do see resistance at around 375 as well. So our first impulse push might reach that zone, have a slight pullback, and that's where we're going to be looking to see validations of buy pressure around the previous level of resistance, which should be acting as a new level of support. Once we see that validation, then you're looking for opportunities to enter long after the break, after the retest, before the impulsive push to the upside. So that's going to be the video for today. Not a whole lot has changed since the last video. Nothing really has broken out. We're just informing you of the updated version of our plan, really to go over what we're seeing. Not really much has happened, and really everything is remaining exactly the same in terms of how we're viewing the markets, what we're expecting, and how we're going to capitalize on this next impulsive push. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you do have any questions or would like to have a particular asset covered, don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section below, and we will look over them. And if it's relevant, we'll definitely incorporate it within the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you found this educational, informative, entertaining, it would be great if you liked the video and subscribe to let us know that we should be making more videos like this. Hopefully you have a good day, and until next time, have a good one.